Alright, g'day guys. Gonna have a run through a beta, THOB beta. This is One Putt Guru on the forum on TGC. Give it a run through. It says it's a rookie designer. Got 4 pins. I got 4. And green tees. 1 set of tees. Cool. Oh, what have I done? Let's begin the round. Default conditions. Let's go. G'day members, looking for a playtest and feedback on a course. I feel it's finished, ready for submission. It's going to be called Hike on Brunette. It's set on a real life island in Newfoundland. Cool. Elevation changes. Fair greens, defended by thick rough. Cool. Let's give it a go. Have you had any courses before? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hello there, my name is John McCarthy, and
right,
I'm pleased to welcome you to PGA Tour 2K23.
I'm just gonna have a
Wishing you nothing
look
but
and
fast out on the course.
Give
Starting today
my opinion
off
on the
the
course. This
nice
is
par
not anything
4.
definitive
All right,
or
let's
anything.
launch this ball into the fairway and take it from there.
Yeah, ignore me if you want. What do we got? We got a beach, and we've got okay. So I'm on PS4, so I can't scoot around and do the flyby cams and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to see what we can see from here. First thing I notice, and I really like tee boxes and teeing areas. A lot of people ignore them, but they're a part of the course, I think. That looks pretty small as a teeing area, and you've just got the one tee box, right? So I don't know, most courses might have some forward tees. You don't necessarily need them because most people are going to play off the backs. But what I find is that you see you've just got this sort of heavy rough in front of the tee there. If you put some extra tee boxes in, even if you don't actually place any tees, but just make the tee boxes, it just fills in the space and makes it look a bit more like a real golf course. I think it looks better. Your beach is not bad, yeah. You can't really do too much about this sort of stuff down here. And it's wide enough that you've got to go searching for it to see, so that's cool. The rocky, how have you done that? That's probably splined, I imagine. With a few sort of bigger ones thrown in here and there. Yeah. Look, it's it just depends on how much time you want to spend on a course. You can make that fringe look a little bit more natural. You know, you can put some things in on the beach and some planting in there, but it just depends on how much you want to put into it. Maybe the end of that beach there looks a bit funny. What about some big rocks at the end of the beach? Like that beach just sort of ends abruptly. It just stands out a little bit to me. But like I said, that's just some aesthetic sort of stuff. The drive looks fine for the first hole. You've gone with no light rough, which is something that a lot of people choose. I tend to think it. I prefer light rough, just as a fringe. But that's me.
Well, you didn't get the most out of that one.
Oh, I've put it on here. Let's see what happens. Am I going to hit a rock? Hit a rock. I want to see what happens. No.
I don't think you're going to like that.
No, I'm not going to like it, mate.
Ouch.
But the sort of the environment's pretty cool. It's I I can definitely see what you're going.
Here
with
we go.
The sort of
Setting
Canadian
up with an elevated green ahead of us. We might need more club.
Yeah, a lot of it's pretty good. You know, I'm actually just going to chip out because I want to see what this shot looks like if you've hit a nice drive into the middle of the green.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah, that's no good.
And this is our third shot.
Let's try that again. So let's pretend I actually hit a nice drive. There we are.
Okay, nicely done. You're in the fairway now. Let's hit up onto that green. Got about 125 to the pin.
It's a long way up there. Problem with being a long way up there is you can't really see much. I mean, I can see that flag stick up there, which is alright. It just seems I'm going up a very steep hill to a green that's just plonked in the rough. So I think on most courses you'll find they'll have some fairway. It's quite uncommon to just see a green cut into the heavy rough like that. I think some sort of fairway areas, and I think on this hole, like personally, I think it's too high. It's too far up. That hill's a bit too much. Because you can't really see what's going on up there, right? And also, man, that's a hell of a walk up that hill. It just feels a bit much. Anyway, yeah, and in terms of sort of having, like, if there was a bit of fairway sort of around here, maybe sort of fringing the green, maybe even a bit down here for like a runoff area. Personally, I think it looks a bit better. The green looks nice though. It's nicely sculpted. It's pretty big. But you got a nice couple of tiers, and there. I suppose the strength of the slopes is pretty good for the size of the green. Yeah, I'm going to hit it up here.
I think this one's looking good. Oh
That's
yeah,
a good
you'll
shot.
take those all day. All right, let's grab this bogey and move on.
Yeah, I mean the green sculpting's pretty good. You know, it's a sort of multi-tiered green, but with the size of the green, you got plenty of room for pinnable areas. There's movement, you know. Some people put some dead flat sections and then tiers off them, but this has got movement everywhere, which is nice. Yeah, I'm not convinced with just a green cut into the heavy rough like that. But that's just me.
Looking pretty good. And a bit of a slow start. We are over par after the first hole, but
I like the little boat in the background, and those cliffs and the environment back there on that cutscene was really nice.
And teeing it up on the second hole.
Just letting you know, Matt, I'm probably not going to get through the whole course because I've got to watch a rugby match coming up soon in about half an hour. Yeah, okay, so it's another green cut with no fairway, no light rough. It's just a green plonked in there in the heavy rough. So for me, there's no fringe either. It's just green, heavy rough. I'm not sure about that myself. But I don't know if that's, I imagine that's on the first two holes, so that's sort of a stylistic thing that you're going for the, yeah, there's another green down there with this sort of same thing. So I think that's probably going to be throughout the course. So I won't sort of mention it more, but it's not my sort of preferred style. The green shape, yeah, that can work. It's you might just want to tidy it up, right? So it's sort of a bit wobbly down there. Just sort of get those, even just here, it's you know, get those splines a little nicer, smooth them out. Just looks a little bit wobbly. But again, it's uphill, and because you've got no fairway around the green, what have you got? You've got heavy rough, heavy rough, heavy rough, heavy rough, heavy rough, flag stick. That's all I can see. Just some more sort of, like I said, even just a bit of fairway helps you sort of see the hole a bit better. I can't see this hole. I can see a flag stick. Yeah. But again, look at the outlook. Some of the planting goes well. A few buried trees and bushes and rocks. You know, it's definitely got the rugged Newfoundland sort of look, for sure.
Yeah, this one's heading a little bit too much to the right. You'll be all right there. All right, here's a 23-footer.
And again, the sculpture on the screen is it's good. It's quite a small green. Hit the target, and then you got a bit of a sort of consistent slope throughout. I think nothing wrong with that at all.
Ooh, nice attempt. Good stuff. 1 over for the day. Let's see what happens here on the third hole.
But then, .47 yards. This fairway starts 47 yards forward of the tee box, which is really short. I don't know if I've ever played a golf course where the you know, a cut fairway starts 47 yards forward of the back tees. And then you've got, you know, I'm not going to hit a driver, I'm not going to get up 119 foot, so I'm putting it down here somewhere around this corner, but I can't really see that there's a corner here. I think what you need to do on this hole, and it's just a sculpting issue, right, is maybe start the fairway here. Yeah, somewhere like that. And drop this section here, which is all I can see. I can only see this area. And make it so that you can see this area off the tee. You know, raise it up on this side maybe, so you can sort of see it going around the corner. If you have a look, you know, from the tee, I can't see any of that. If you make it visible that it is bending around there, you don't have to see this bit up here, as long as you can see that there is a fairway that bends around this lump. But at the moment, I can't see anything. And it's not going to take much to sort of sculpt that out, actually. But I'm going to put it, I'll probably end up here. Let's go.
Nice. Second shot on the third.
Same shot as on that first hole, and similar to the second hole. It's up, 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 up. Heavy rough, heavy rough, heavy rough, heavy rough, and then a pin. So it's just, I suppose the issue is blindness, or, you know, what you can actually see. You know, I'm 100 yards out, I'm 50 yards up. If I'm in my 70s, I don't want to play this course, because I can't climb up this hill. I'm not saying you've got to climb up this hill in the game. You can do some pretty out there stuff, but it just takes away a little bit of the sort of realism and the immersion. The green shape is a bit funny. Nothing wrong with like a boomerang shaped green or something like that. But I don't know why it is shaped like this. I'm not really sure that with that, you know, if this is the land that was given to the architect, why would they leave that as heavy rough? All it means is if you accidentally put the ball up here and you got a pin on that side. Actually, is this a double green? It might be a double green. No, that's a pin down there. I don't know. It doesn't quite work for me. And look, this slope is pretty intense. 3 foot up. It's quite strong, right? Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go.
Well, that's all right. We'll get on the green next time. This is your third shot. And wouldn't it be nice to save par here? Oh my! 3 feet to go.
I think with the planting, it's alright, but again, you can always do more, and it just depends on how much time you want to put into it. One thing I think this is missing is grass. I think this would go really well if you had some, you know, in these sort of patches, get some grass in. It sort of softens the look of these buried trees. You know, you can do this sort of multi-plant thing and just whack a few bits of grass in each of them, and it can look really good. Mixing grass in with the berry trees goes well.
Well, All right, nicely hold. Let's move to the next. And after that, you're sitting at 2 over par. And now we're teeing up on the 4th.
Number 4. Okay, we've got a downhill going significantly downhill. Medium long par 4. Outlook, I mean, it's a nice outlook up on top of the hill. You've got the bay down there. So I haven't. Okay. Again, I think one of the issues might be that blindness off the tee here. So I can see the fairway up here. I would prefer it myself if I can see that the fairway falls off down this way. But at the moment, from the tee box, I can see a rock and a tree. It's not really clear what happens or where to hit. Obviously I can go to Scout Cam and see where to hit, but of course it looks better when you can see it from the tee. I think a little bit of sculpting. You know, you can get a nice raise up this side down here a bit. I think you get a nice sloping, you know, left to right fairway, which will play well because you can knock the ball up here and it'll roll down. It'll be a fun shot to play around this corner. Yeah, or even for, you know, if it all sort of slopes down that way, maybe make it, you know, so you've got a 3-wood where you can roll it down this hill nicely, and then the driver, you know, a bit further up from where I am, because it's 64 foot down, so you're going to hit it more than 300. Maybe tighten that up a bit so it's, you put doubt in a player's mind as to whether to go for that driver or to knock a 3-wood down here and let it roll down this hill. That could be a pretty fun shot, but you've got to see it. You've really got to see it. This rock blocks out the view, and just, I suppose, a bit more care with the sculpting of the fairway. But there's potential in this hole for sure. So I'll show you what I mean with the 3-wood. If I'm going to, I wish I could hit the ball straight. I'm actually going to hit that again.
Oh, come
Just
on
bear
now.
with
That's
me
not
for
what
a
you
second.
deserve. Let's get out of this. This is a little spinachy for my liking. This one's your 3rd.
That's a bit better. So if I could, yeah, if I could see that this shot's on, bounds down this hill somewhere and leaves me with a nice, you know,
This is about 160
approach.
to the pin.
Get rid of or lower this bunch of trees because it blocks out my view. I happen to be right behind it, but again, you want to see where you're going. And then I've got 160. Maybe, you know, you can make that a tougher shot in, or the alternative shot, which would be, you know, you'll end up way down here, you know, 50 yards further, and then make that tougher with a tighter fairway. You know, maybe let the fairway sort of, you know, if you don't hit it really well and you're going for it, you'll end up down in the rough down here. But if you get it right, then you've got a nice angle into the green. You get the green slopes working nicely from here, and make it a bit tougher for the sort of the more open and easy shot from here. That's just a sort of that's what I'd be looking for strategy-wise on this hole.
Here comes the bogey putt.
But again, that's right. The green. I see what you're going for with the green. One thing that's I'm just going to test it right. So I imagine there's probably going to be a pin down here where I'm standing. And if there is, let's see what happens if you end up on this. I haven't hit it. Oh, well, I'll find out anyway. This green section, will that... Yeah, cool. That's leggable. That's fine.
Okay, this one for the double bogey.
You just got to make sure that if you've got those slopes that the ball can stop. You don't have to make it easy for the ball to stop, but you want to make sure that the ball can stop.
Here's a 14-foot
and it does
putt.
there, so that's good.
Ooh. Quadruple bogey if you sink this. Looking good. We'll need a little more pace on that one. Well, this has been a bit of a wild one, hasn't it? Hopefully we can get this one to drop, and then we'll be on our way. And teeing it up now in a par 5.
Yep. This is good. You're going up over a hill, but you can see the... I can see... So this is... You know, where I'm going to hit is blind, but I'm going to assume that if I hit here, right down the middle of that fairway corridor that you've given me, that I'm not going to run into any trouble. Your fairway starts at a bit of a better sort of distance from the tee. That works. So I wonder what is up over this hill. Yeah, good. No problem there. That's good. That's a good drive. Works well.
Well, that tee shot looks like it'll do. And second shot here on the 5th.
So it's a par 5 that I can't... I mean, maybe can I get there with the 3-wood? Just... I don't have the longest clubs in the game, and I'm slightly into the wind. But yeah. This little transition here, these sort of little details, where the fairway just goes whoop into the green, I think it looks a lot better if you just get the spline to go out here, and then, sorry, it's hard to control this thing, and then get it to sort of run flush into the green so that the mowing lines sort of line up. I think that makes a difference. You know, this one's almost there, but you can just sort of run it off there down onto the existing fairway. Little detail. The green's very big and very flat. For a par 5 that doesn't have a huge amount of trouble, I suppose the protection on this one is just a narrow fairway and heavy rough, which is fine. But even if I'm laying up, then I'll have a fairly straightforward sort of shot into a fairly flat and unprotected green. Yeah, so maybe you can do a bit more there. I'm going to try to bang a driver off the deck in and see if I can get it up there. What I do like is this this clump of trees and stuff behind here, because yeah, it looks good. It just having that darkness. You get the, you know, it's a bunkerless course, right? So there's nothing wrong with a bunkerless course. It can be hard sometimes to get some sort of visual contrast, but these trees with the deep shadows, that works pretty well, especially with these sort of lighter rocks. That's good.
That's bold, using the driver off the fairway.
What happened there?
I'll take it.
I don't know.
Setting up for our third shot. I'll take that. Here's a 6-foot putt. Oh, birdie putt as well. That could have been good. And that will go. And you're currently 7 over. Wind is blowing left to right on this one.
I reckon this one's a bit too much. 115 foot down and 220 yards. It's pretty intense. You can see it, which is good. A lot of people who build these huge drop-offs, you can't really sort of see what's going on. I don't think these trees work. They're like in the way, I suppose, and especially for a downhill, like a really long downhill one. You know, why not some fairway through here, this side, down here, like the front of the green. I know it's a long way down, but it's 204 yards to the front of the green with no fairway. This hole can work. I think it's a bit far down, but if you you know, a fairway section here where you can land it on, maybe even, you know, get rid of this rock and have a bit of a sloping fairway where you can land the ball here and it funnels down onto the green. That can be a fun shot, depending on the wind, or you can just sort of fly it in and land it on the green. But as it is, the only thing you can do is fly it in and land it on the green. There's no, so you've just got to know how much 109 foot down is going to affect distance with this wind. You know, it becomes a bit of a maths equation as opposed to as a golf shot, right? And you just don't have options. I would love to have been able to take a shorter club.
Yeah, that'll work. Nice approach.
You know, knock the trajectory down a bit.
And this one is 30 feet away.
Landed on the green, 40 yards short, and let it sort of funnel down to the green. That would be a fun shot, I think. And that, for me, that shot wasn't particularly fun.
Get there.
That was a good putt.
Yes, it's in there. What a putt. Just extremely, extremely fine work. And you're sitting right at 6 over at the moment.
All right.
Teeing off here on a short par 4.
We got 344 over there. Alright, okay. Again, yep, you can see fairway heading up here. I'm going to be going over the crest of this hill, so it's a sort of blind tee shot. But I'm not even going to have a look, right? I'm going to just hit the ball where I think, if I was an actual golfer playing this course in real life, I'm going to hit it here, because that's where it looks like I should hit it. Okay, that's, yep, there's a bit of room there. That works, that's cool. No problem with that sort of
And
blindness
here's our
on that tee
second
shot
shot
there.
on the
But then look,
seventh.
I've got this bush in the way. I don't know. Would you have a bush there? I know the pin's way over on that side, and I can look over here. It just feels like that bush shouldn't be there. You know, on this whole, you know, I know it's your, I don't mean to bring it up again. I know it's I can see it's the sort of aesthetic and the challenge you've gone for, but why is that not fairway? All in here. It just feels a bit funny to me. Yeah, let's flop one in.
Ooh, setting up for birdie here. Right by. Okay, time to head over to the next hole. All right, that's 6 over for the day. Well, have a good hole. We've got a par 4 for this one.
Yeah, so a lot of the sort of the outlooks and the visual sort of things are flirting really close to complete blindness. This one I can see a tiny little sliver of fairway there, but it's a little bit of sort of sculpting love and sort of considering the course from this perspective. You can just sort of drop some land here and maybe like raise it up a bit over here, and you can see down that fairway a bit better, and I just think it looks better. It does look better. Sorry, one sec, mate. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so I mean, this is nice. You got like a cliffy sort of area here. Why can't I see that cliff? What, like, if you I would want to see all this waterfront, waterfront property. It's there's not many courses in the world that have such a spectacular location, right, as what you've got. But a lot of it's blocked out by this sort of dark green stuff here. Yeah, open it up. Open it up.
Yeah, I think we will hit the fairway here.
So I'm gonna
And from here,
have to finish
it's about
shortly.
115
I'll go through the
yards to
ninth
the
hole.
pin.
I'll do the front 9. I got to watch the Chiefs against the Blues coming up. I don't know if you're a rugby fan, but that'll be a pretty good game. Chiefs will probably win that one. Green's alright. It's like a triple decker sort of thing. That's probably a bit too much. So if this whole sort of bottom bit was not 4 foot below the rest of the green, you know, 4 foot's a lot for a green. So it's sort of a little bit more subtlety on these sort of slopes can go a long way. This one is like, it's okay in terms of the strength of, like the difference in height between here and here, but it's quite, you know, it's fairly flat, drop off. It's a very abrupt tier. If you sort of smooth it out a bit, you can get the same effect, but you can maybe stretch out the slope a bit further, so you get like a nice orange slope, which means that there's more room to use that slope, as opposed to just being you're either here or you're here. If you sort of smooth out that slope, you can use it better. You can land on it and roll the ball down here. Yeah, just sort of a bit more subtlety can go a long way with these green tiers.
Well, better luck next time.
That's why I'm not a big
shot.
fan of greens straight into heavy rough like that. I missed that shot, and I've rolled an inch off the green, and I'm in heavy rough. And again, like it's not something that I come up against on actual golf courses ever. And you can create
10 feet to the
some
cup.
more sort of interesting
no.
sort of shots and chips back, and
Okay, setting up for the bogey.
you know, like I said, with runoff areas, with you know, using green fringes.
Okay, now let's have a check-in on our
I
scorecard.
think it's just sometimes that can be a
Score is
bit
8
more
over
fun
par
than just a
currently.
chip out of heavy rough 1 inch off the green.
Teeing this one up on the 9th now.
So again, this is what is it, 42 yards to the front of that fairway. That's too close. It's pretty obvious when I'm sort of standing here that it's just right there. It causes blindness because it's too high here, so I can't actually see the hole. You can so I mean, you can drop down all of this stuff, which is causing the blindness. It's not impacting on the hole as I play it, right? So drop it right down out of the way so I can see up this hole right up to the green. Makes it look better.
Shake it off. And we are in the deep stuff currently. Let's get out of here now. And we're setting up
Otherwise,
here
I mean,
with an
like, there's nothing
elevated
wrong with
green.
this
Might need some more club.
hole in terms of being some of those sort of fairway shapes on the, like on this side near where my player is, you know, the right side as you're playing the hole. It's all a bit sort of jaggedy. I'm not I'm not sure why the fairway is cut in those shapes. If the shapes reflected the land, then that's all right. But it doesn't seem to be the case to my eye. It seems like the shapes are cut there, you know, like it's sort of in and out, sort of in here, but the land doesn't call for those sort of shapes. So I'm not really sure why they would be cut that way. Again, you can tidy up this sort of surfacing transitions, like this one here. Perfect. That one's great. That one's great. And it looks a lot better. The green shape's a bit funny here. It's a bit different to a lot of the other holes. You got a massive false front, which that's cool. I don't mind that. That's part of the challenge. Don't hit it there. Some people don't like big drop-offs like that, but nah, it makes sense to me. The green's very big, and it's just a bit of a weird shape. Yeah. So like, you know, like I mentioned before, with fairways and extra, you know, sort of stuff. If I put this one a bit too far and it goes here, it's just going to roll down here, but it's just going to stop here. 1 inch off the green, and then I got this chip back. It's sort of, it doesn't actually add anything to the hole. Why not just sort of put heavy rough here, right? Because there's no difference. If you're going to have this drop off here, have a nice little like collection area down here. That could work. It could work quite well. Yeah. That's terrible.
A little wayward on the approach. That's all right, though.
All right, I'm going to hit the road after this putt. Assuming I get it in.
Okay, this one for
look,
par.
I hope that was helpful. Like I said, mate, I'm no authority on anything. This is just my own personal opinion.
Rolled right by.
I reckon there's plenty here. There's plenty of good stuff here, but I reckon a bit of massaging and a bit of you know, some of the sculpting and surfacing.
Well, it's heading towards the hole.
Can really improve this course.
And we'll mark down the bogey.
We've had a huge amount of sort of work to do it. There's just a few sort of.
And sitting at 9 over for the day. All right, let's have a nice tee shot and land it nicely in that fairway.
I just want to have a look at this hole. I'm not going to play it, but it's interesting. Okay. So this is going to be a weird hole because I'm going to have to hit an 8-iron off this tee. And then it's all heavy rough to that green way down there. Yeah, that's... I'm not sure about that hole. Anyway, but I've got to go. Yeah, like I said, hope that was helpful, and yeah, I hope to look to see how this ends up. Thanks, mate. See you next time.